Hi, I am going to do a worst to best of a group. The group is going to be, should I call them Van Bagel? Because I do like eating bagels with sea salt and peppercorns and little bits of onion and a little bit of black sesame seeds don't hurt either. Mmm. With cream cheese and capers. Ooh, you can't be not a fan of that. Oh. Okay, I am going to give my top or my bottom two top or whatever you're talking about. I'm gonna give my something to something review of Van Halen albums. But I can't stop thinking about those Van Bagels that taste so good. I have to say the worst Van Halen album would be the one called Van Halen 3 with Gary Sharon. I thought he was a good vocalist, I just didn't like the songs. If he had been on an album with songs that were good, it would rank much higher. But as it is, sorry. The next album, I would have to say 5150 is probably the next one that I don't think is so good. I do kind of like a couple of songs on it, but not as though I really love them. But at least there's a couple of songs that are listenable on it. I'm not going to say that I like the album much because it's very much a disappointment. In fact, it would be my worst ranking album except for Van Halen 3, which is even worse. So that's why 5150 is not on the very bottom, but it's not good. And then I'll have to say it's a toss-up, but I'm going to say Balanced next because I finally got into some of the songs and I thought that some of them were good, but it took me a while, and I don't like to take a while to be cool with songs. And even though I'm cool with some of them, it doesn't mean that they're really good. It just means that they're not as bad as the songs off of the other two albums that I had just ranked. So after that, I would have to say the next one down on the list would be for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, which has some good or good enough songs, I'm still not going to be someone who's going to rush to the phonograph to listen to any of the songs on it, but I'm also one who would not rush to totally break the stereo system if the guy who's hosting the party wanted to hear one or two songs from it. I would allow that. I do think that there are a couple of songs that will be not so bad enough for me to want to break the guy's stereo system if he wants to hear the songs. So it's fine enough for that type of album. The next one would have to be A Different Kind of Truth. I do kind of like it better than the stuff in the Sammy category. I do like that it's the original band mostly, at least with David Lee Roth doing vocals. But of those albums where he's vocalist, sorry, I find this to be the least of the ones that I like. And then the next one would have to be... This is difficult because I... Well, no, it's actually not difficult because the next one is 1984. I do like most of it, and some of the songs are really, really good. But there's a couple of songs on the album or so that I am not a big fan of, and because of that, sorry, it gets lower than some of the others. Oh boy. This is going to be really tough. I'm going to have to say... I'm going to have to pick the first Van Halen album next as far as whether or not it's my favorite or not. I mean, I think it's a really good album and done well, but some songs I would say are a little bit more like deep cuts that I don't really particularly always listen to, but it's a good album. It's not bad in any way, but it's not my very favorite. And then next would have to be on up would be Van Halen 2, which the best songs on it are some of my very favorite Van Halen songs ever. But there are also a good number of songs that aren't my favorites, that I don't like much. I don't really hate them, I just don't like them as much as the songs that I really like. So that has to be... Well, it's above the first Van Halen album, but it's not above the two that I'm going to rank even higher. And then, so the one that I would ordinarily pick as my first, except for one song that or a couple of songs that I really don't like off of it, is Women and Children First. That's why that's my second favorite. Because there's a couple of songs I really, really don't care for that are on it. But the best songs are some of the best songs that they've done. But because of those two songs that I don't like, that's why it gets second place. Whereas the album that gets first place is Fair Warning, because there's only one song off of it which I don't love. I still like it. It's still a good song. But I still like it. But it's the only song that is not one of my favorites. Whereas the rest of the songs are pretty much all perfectly wonderful and some of my favorite songs. So, as far as I'm concerned, Fair Warning, if they had substituted one song off of Van Halen 2 or Women and Children First, and they substituted that with the song that I'm not really a big fan of, but I still like it, off of Fair Warning, then it would have been a perfect album. But still, those are my Van Bagel or my Van Halen Yummy Treat album review stuff. Alright, take care. Bye.